Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the ASOTV podcast for Game of Thrones, Season 5, Episode 3. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me are some usual faces, such as Cleo.
Hello!
Hello! And John.
I'm not a usual face, I'm very unusual.
Yeah, and Pat.
Good day, all.
Hi. So, this season is fantastic so far.
I would say so.
Right.
I would say so.
It's ebbing and flowing nicely.
It's ebbing and flowing very nicely. Yes.
You get like lulls, and then you get the big woof, and then another lull.
Mm-hmm.
Show usually has good flow. I mean, shows that get a whole hour, 10 whole hours, kind of have more freedom of flow.
10
Yeah,
whole hours
Absolutely.
and no commercial.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's start off with Arya. Yeah. What the heck?
Good old Arya.
Good old Arya. What was she expecting, really, going into this place? Was she expecting to walk in and just be like, oh, sure, we'll train you to be a master assassin?
Yes.
That's how it works.
I mean, that is exactly how it works. You show a coin and you're like, hi, look, I have a coin. It's like, okay, great. You are now our next inductee into the Hall of Kill People Without a Face.
Right, like,
But I mean, the thing about the organization is they are so secret. So her expectations are literally based on nothing. They're based on her meeting Jaq and Hakkar. That's it. That's all she's got.
Well, secret, yes, but they can't be that much of a secret, because she gave that coin to the captain, the boat captain, and he took her there immediately, saying
Yes.
any man of Bravos would have done the same. So they're not that
I'm
big
sorry.
of a secret.
A secret in Westeros. I'm sure nobody in Westeros.
Knows their
Sure, all
workings.
they know is, oh, you're a faceless man, and here's coin, go kill somebody for me. I'm sure that's the extent of Westeros, the people of Westeros' knowledge of faceless men.
Fair assessment.
But I feel like in this episode, we're learning that she still keeps her face. You know, she still keeps her identity, and that's where it's becoming the moral struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thinks that, oh, I can learn to kill people, but I'm still going to keep everything I have and, still stand out almost.
Right.
And I mean, she got rid of her clothes and her stuff pretty easily until she came to Needle.
Mhm.
Because Needle and her mantra of people she's going to kill are really what's left of Arya Stark.
and her dad,
Yeah,
and her old life. I mean,
yeah. And I mean, she can't let that go. Maybe if she might be able to let Needle go, but she's not going to be able to let those names go, which is a big part of her identity.
Exactly.
yeah.
Very curious how that's going to go. Or if Jaq and
Let's
Hagar
see.
had her followed and knows that she hid Needle in the rocks.
99.9% he knows
Yeah.
she still has the sword.
He has to know.
He knows everything, this man.
I had just such a Walking Dead Michonne feel with the inability to give up the sword.
Mm.
She can't leave her old identity behind. She can't do it.
No, she can't. It was
And the
her.
consequences are gonna suck.
Probably. I mean, she's in a place where they're killing people and taking their bodies out, and there's statues of a whole bunch of different gods sitting around. And as Mr. Hagar puts it, we serve one. There is only one God. You know his name, and you've seen his gift. Every man knows his gift.
God of Death?
Yeah, that's what I would infer.
Yeah.
Something like
Because
that.
I remember him talking to her at Moat Cailin about the...
Many-faced God of Death.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember now.
Well, that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm curious what's going to happen with her, because now she's discarded all that junk. Is she going to take on a different name? Is she just going to have no name? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sure she'll be able to give up everything except the names of the people she wants to kill.
And that is going to bite her in the ass, I think.
Yeah, because it's the whole reason she came here in the first place.
I was going to say, you think she'll have to? I mean...
It's part of her identity. I think Jacques Nicard knows she's still reciting those names.
So she has to sacrifice every aspect of her identity, I guess. So,
That's what it seems
become
like.
no one, and she can't become no one if she's still holding on to that.
Well, because at the same point, too, aren't these assassins really... They don't have any background of who they wanted to kill or anything like that. There's no story. They're just kind of hired. They're meant for hire. That's it.
That's what it seems so far. And...
But they're meant to serve, whether it's being hired or otherwise.
Right. And all we know really about them is that they're assassins and that they cost an arm and a leg. Almost, probably literally in some cases.
Yeah, that's your firstborn.
Or your first.
Hey, I need that guy's leg. It's really important.
It's really important to me.
I really need that guy's eye.
No, I really need it.
Moving on to the other Stark sister, Sansa. So we find out what marriage proposal Littlefinger was talking about being accepted. Wasn't him.
Nope.
No.
So he's trying to marry her off to Ramsay Bolton.
What the fuck?
Seriously.
Like, serious. This girl has... And just when we thought that the roller coaster... I'm sorry, the ever-sinking, roller coaster...
The plunge
of Sansa's life was on the uphill turn here for a little while. Nope, still plunging.
No, just plummeting down.
She left her home to go south to King's Landing to be with her father, who is the Hand of the King. And her life has been shittier and shittier ever since.
Yes.
You're back home with a place that everybody, all these people killed your whole family and anybody associated to you. Now we're going to marry you off to them.
I was hoping she would, she's playing the part very well, Lady Sansa. And just like Lord Bolton, curtsy, slap. But that wouldn't have gone over well.
They did a masterful job with the editing and the blocking where there's a real pause and she hangs before in the air before she curtsies and says Lord Bolton, where I'm like, does she have a knife? Is she gonna stab him?
Yeah.
Is it happening now?
And then when she gets shown to her room, the handmaiden, whatever the hell you want to call her, says, the North remembers.
Yes, the North always remembers.
And then leaves. The North remembers. What does that mean? Okay, here's a couple of things we need to talk about here.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said, he says the North always remembers. And here's a couple of things we need to talk about because they are really getting giddy. So, Theon's hiding his face. Doesn't want to be seen.
No.
Smart man.
No. Good idea.
For a couple of reasons. While Sansa... what was the part? I forget. They panned off after there was some announcement or whatever, and they pan off to the side in Winterfell, and there's these 3 or 4 women just standing there looking all ominous.
Yeah.
Well, weren't those the 3 women that, what is it, Remy, knew?
Yeah, wasn't the brunette his, body toy, lady toy?
Was it?
2 girls. 2 of those girls were the ones that were fooling around to get Theon to be aroused, and then...
Oh my god, you're right, I completely
They're
forgot.
his playthings. They're his...
Yeah.
Oh, so they're not happy that Sansa's...
They're not happy that Sansa's taking him.
Oops.
As a husband.
Yeah.
But listen, he's such a psycho that I honestly don't know what's going to happen.
He promises to never hurt her, and I'm curious if he actually
I don't believe
means
him.
that.
I don't believe it!
Ramsay at all.
I don't believe a thing either of them say. Their sigil is the flayed man. They skin people.
See, but I would think that he wouldn't for the sheer fact of the alliance of keeping the North.
Yes.
But he's
That's
still...
the reason, because right now they're weak. They already mentioned if they were going to be attacked by anyone, they're boned.
Right.
They don't
Yeah.
have the Lannisters to back them up. They have no one.
That's just them in Winterfell, which is kind of in the center of the north, and they are surrounded by hostile, lesser houses that still comprise a greater military force than them.
Plus, you can still get the Greyjoys coming back for their son again
I doubt that.
if
No,
they
I-
ever decided to.
Honestly, I doubt that.
After that last time, I don't think they're gonna try again.
No.
I'm curious if we're going to see...
Stannis is coming down.
Stannis said he's
The
marching...
North remembers.
He's taking
so all
Winterfell
those,
back.
the houses that served the Stark.
He could. Do we think that Stannis could rally the outlying northern houses?
He's not a Stark.
I mean,
He
that's the
may.
thing. That's why he kind of wanted
promises
Jon.
to take down the...
Right.
I mean, if anything, maybe if Jon can't directly help him, then he could at least write a letter, be like, "Hey, it'd be cool if you could."
Avenge my father.
Yeah.
Or something like
Yeah,
that.
but he didn't... He never took the name Stark. He's still
No.
a Snow.
Right. I don't know if Stannis could
Well, beggars
successfully
can't be
rally it.
choosers.
Yeah, but at the same point, I hate to jump the gun already, but we're already kind of talking about it. Stannis has already mentioned to him, Stannis' cohort, his second in command, essentially mentioned flat out, protecting the realm sometimes means leaving your castle and
Right.
fighting for the realm. So I think like Stark on him or like kind of bring up on him some kind of feeling of an obligation to go and essentially wipe out the Boltons.
No, because... And I love Sir Davos. I love him to death, and I've agreed with everything he said up until right now. Because Jon needs to stay right where he is. Because as bad as Bolton is, what's coming down from the north is worse. And Mance was afraid of it, and Jon knows Mance was afraid of it.
Mance was
He
afraid
should
of
be
it.
smart enough to say, I need to stay here.
Technically, Mance had an army of 100,000 people. Now, mind you, that's not 100,000 soldiers, but still, he had 100,000 people who were probably in some way, shape, or form armed. And he's running.
Yeah.
That's far more than any standing army in Westeros that I'm pretty sure has behind them.
Yeah.
So
So if Jon left to take out the
Things would-
Boltons,
things would go downhill.
and that happened to be the day the White Walkers decided to scale the wall.
Mm-hmm. So last thing to talk about here in Winterfell, what did Cersei, do you think, write to Littlefinger?
Dear tiny shite,
Get your ass back here now.
get my priest out of your brothel.
Whatever it wasn't anything that Bolton got mad at.
No.
No,
Bolton
'cause he read
checked it. It didn't raise a red flag. So whatever it was, it's not too bad.
I guess. I mean, I was reading something, someone did a quick breakdown of the show. They say it seems more and more like Littlefinger is flying by the seat of his pants now.
I was actually saying the same thing.
Like, he
'Cause
doesn't seem to be calmly, have every angle planned ahead. Now it's just,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to take shit as it goes along.
Because I was asking even during the episode, what the hell's his endgame now? But maybe he just doesn't have one anymore?
As
He's just kind of seeing what happens?
Well, he did say it's a gamble, how did he put it? All plays for power or gambles or whatever?
Yeah,
So,
whatever.
your play...
Not gambling too much. He had one house. Now he's trying to almost take two. His whole thing is with this alliance with Bolton, he's already 3-4 steps ahead to oust the Boltons on top of it.
But he's ahead of a game that's changing by the second. He can't, at this point, he can't predict what's going to happen next, and I don't think he knows, I think it's just, okay, I have both bases covered. If, the Lannisters end up on top, I'm good. If the Boltons end up on top, I'm good,
Right.
And he's got the Eyrie to look after anyway, so he's
Very
got his
true.
house to chill in.
Very, very true. So, let's move on from there. We'll talk about Jon Snow.
Jon Snow, you know nothing.
Even as Lord Commander, Stannis is still offering to legitimize him and come march with me. But he respectfully declines, and I love what he's doing with, what's his name? With Ollie. He's treating Ollie exactly
the
like...
kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the kid. He's treating Ollie exactly like the old bear treated him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Giving him a
taught
chance.
him well.
Yeah. Giving him a shot, telling him, observe me and see what you... Maybe he'll command one day. Who knows?
Yeah.
So he denies Stannis, and then, as you mentioned, Davos gives him that advice. But the real fun part was his first commands as Lord Commander.
Loved his first command. Latrine.
duty, and, Alistair staring at him like, you're going to do it. You're going to pick me, you asshole. You're totally going to do it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, whoever, sounds like a job for a ginger.
That was really funny.
Everybody loves
It's
it.
really funny.
And then he makes Sir Alistair First Ranger. Which I think surprised the shit out of him.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought he was gonna get bitch duty for for standing up against him.
But he kind of, yeah. I don't know. I'm being accused of not checking chat. I don't check chat when it's utterly irrelevant.
Yeah, right. Space meteors. Come on, Omi. Well, I was gonna say, about choosing. God, what was I gonna say?
Choosing Alistair as the First Ranger?
Yeah. Oh, John's not letting personal bias get in the way. Like, he is being what politicians should be.
Right.
You know?
And
He's not letting personal bias get in the way. With the kid, he's probably mad that the kid killed Ygritte, but he sees the potential for the kid,
right.
So he's mentoring him. He sees Sir Alistair is a good soldier and probably a good man when he stops being a dick. So he's like, you get to be First Ranger because obviously you deserve it.
Well, it's knowing your strengths. That's all it is.
He's pulling a Ned Stark.
Will know his strengths, and even if it's somebody that he doesn't particularly like, I don't care if I like you, I don't like you, but you're the proper person for the job, and I'm not just going to give it to somebody just for the sake of giving it up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and
he's really doing his job.
Right, exactly. He's doing his job. And not letting personal anything get in the way. So now the fun part. Lord Janos, which he really doesn't have to call him Lord anymore. He's a brother of the Watch.
Yeah, technically you're supposed to give up all your titles, right?
Yeah, but they still use, if they were a lord or a knight or anything, they still use those titles out of,
That's a little
respect.
hypocritical. If you have to give up your titles and your lands, why are you keeping your title?
It's just, like in the case of... I can't think of a decent case that was actually in the show. But if you had, some renowned knight who is, a good fighter and a good man and all that stuff, you still got to call him Sir What's-His-Face out of respect. Regardless if they legally...
Yeah, Sir I can see, but Lord, I don't understand.
You know what? Yeah, whatever. They legally gave up their titles, but... So...
It's just a courtesy thing.
That motherfucker don't deserve no respect.
You are going to be in charge of Greyguard, which is apparently one of the ruined castles along the wall. Tells him you can... you can take your rune and do whatever with it. The line that actually got me is you could take your order and shove it up your bastard ass.
I was like, oh, nope.
Want to see my sword?
There was a good amount of grumbling going on among the men, and I'm just like, oh god, who's going to shank him first?
Seriously.
Yeah, because they were all like...
You don't buff the commander like that.
Right,
Yeah,
and
seriously.
here's the first true test. Does Jon Snow let that shit fly?
Nuh-uh.
Nuh-uh. Take Lord Janos outside. Bring me my sword.
But I think we have to acknowledge, Jon Snow gave him 3 chances to say yes.
He gave him a few chances.
He did.
Didn't just any of that.
Well, let's also bring up, too, that the first ranger who was friends with him stands in front of him at first, looks like he's going to fight,
and then stands aside. I loved
I knew from the second that Alistair looked at the guy that he was not going to stand up for him. I'm like,
He's just like, no,
he just got
you're on your own, buddy.
appointed first ranger.
Yeah.
He ain't going to stand up for you.
Also, as you said, Alistair, he may be a dick, right?
Yeah.
But he's probably still a good man. And that was one thing he kind of enforced, because he trained all the new recruits back in Season 1, this guy. I think he was more, respectful of the chain of command as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, now let's put it on Alistair's side of the coin here. He doesn't like him. He doesn't like Jon Snow. Clearly doesn't like him.
No.
But it's still his commander, and he's going to follow orders because, that is the right thing to do in this situation.
Yeah.
So
It's also a lead by example.
yes, lead by exactly.
Jon Snow said, "I don't have any bias towards you. I'm making you first ranger."
Right.
So Alistair's like, "I'm not going to show any bias towards Jon. I'm going to follow his will."
Well,
And
see, the
His
code.
order.
Oh, you take this oath, you gotta stand by it.
right. And well, there he goes. He stood by it. Janos gets dragged outside. I love him. Like, oh, the boy's not gonna scare me. I have
I'm a
friends.
coward!
I have friends in high places. This show isn't gonna scare me. Then he sees the chopping block, and then he's on it.
I'm now
Yep.
scared!
I'm not scared. This is just a show. Oh no! Sees the chopping block. Sees the sword drawn. I'm sorry. I'll command Grey Watch. I swear. I'm just a coward. I'm
And
scared.
John hesitated for a second.
Well, because he called for mercy.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is that. John's not exactly a cold-blooded killer here.
Yeah, but at the
No.
same point, like when I saw this, all I could think of is our first season, first episode with Ned,
Right.
one of the Night's Watch that ran off to tell him what's going on. And he just goes, "Okay, thanks for the info. By the way, get my sword."
By the way, we gotta execute you. You ran away.
Exactly. It doesn't matter why he did it. He disobeyed, or he broke his vow. He disobeyed orders. The law sentenced him to death.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. It doesn't matter. Janos, he disobeyed. He made a big boo-boo, big no-no, and John took his head.
And I mean, Ned had his children present at that execution for a reason.
Right? And
This is what
Have a
happens.
lesson. This is what you have to do if you're in command.
Rob went through with it, and it cost him half of his army, but he went through with it. The man who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
Yep.
That was something Ned taught all of his kids.
Yeah.
Which, good on him. So,
Yep.
now here's the question. What kind of hell is this going to cause John? Because John, if you noticed, only half of the Night's Watch voted for him.
Yep.
Yes.
Actually, a little less than half,
Less
because
than
some
half.
voted for the third guy.
Yeah.
So, he
More
doesn't...
decrepit.
He probably doesn't, doesn't have a lot of supporters or friends here. So I'm curious, what
Probably not.
kind of... I mean, yeah, one, the guy disobeyed orders. He mocked you to your face. You don't do that to your commander in this day and age and expect to live.
Yeah.
So...
But-
And that was pretty
I mean,
bad. Basically told him
Alice-
to fuck himself.
But Alistair got the other, 49% of the votes. So, he made a bro out of him.
and he
Yeah.
and he stood aside for that. So...
Right. So at the same time, maybe that gesture was like, hey, guys, you liked me, but
Mm-hmm.
you gotta respect him.
But it's
I respected him. You
one
should do the
and two.
same.
Essentially, your 1 and 2 are the two people that everybody was kind of voting for. So, quite frankly, even if you don't respect Jon Snow, you're going to respect him because even the person that you were voting for is respecting him.
Yeah. Either out of respect or giving him the benefit of the doubt, like, you might actually make a decent commander, I'll follow you for now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe it'll be okay.
Good on you, Jon Snow.
Maybe it'll be okay.
Maybe it'll be okay, but I applaud
Maybe
you, sir.
something in the show will be okay.
No, nothing's going to be okay.
Can't
Actually,
breathe, can't
let's
we?
talk about the one thing that was okay this episode. The first wedding where nobody died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went off without a hitch.
Even Daenerys' wedding, people died.
Yeah.
A Dothraki wedding with at least 3 murders is considered a dull affair.
Adult affair. I loved that line. That is so great.
Yeah. Anywho, Tommen and Tommen and the smirking whore of Highgarden are wed.
Hey,
That's how Cersei put it.
I know. Are you Cersei?
No. So Marjorie and Tommen are wed, and
I don't see a glass of wine in your hand.
Tommen really likes getting laid.
Oh!
Tom
Yeah.
is right at it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, dude, sex is cool. Yes.
Like,
Yes.
let's do this and nothing else for the rest of our lives. Like, oh, you precious muffin.
I don't think there's a lot of chafing.
I don't think that's gonna work exactly well. But Marjorie's sinking the hooks right on in.
Oh, she's good. She's
Oh.
pushing Cersei out.
Oh, and Cersei
Little by
loves
little.
it.
I
She
will
really
help
doesn't
you
love it.
in any way that I can.
If you ever want to jump off the tower, I will gladly push you.
I will help you.
It will totally
If you ever want to stab yourself in the throat, I will help you.
It
Yeah,
wouldn't
so
be the
much.
first person I helped push out a window.
Poor taste. Bran isn't even in this
He's
season to
not
defend
dead, though.
himself.
He's
Not dead, but not
No,
here.
he's not dead, but he's
Not here to defend himself. So
He's also
True.
legless. Well, without the use of his legs.
I think
he'll be levitating soon.
that short, tasteless joke pumped it out of my mind.
But I mean, seriously, the bitch fangs are just fucking sharp this season.
And Tommen's going along with it. Because Tommen now married. Tommen now king. Tommen likes sex. Woman who has sex with Tommen tells Tommen it's a good idea to send mommy away. Well, doesn't
Bye.
exactly
No.
say that.
Not so many words.
But says, mommy doesn't seem happy here. You think mommy will be happy back in Casterly Rock?
Yes, sex lady.
Mother, I just want to see you happy. Wouldn't you be happier back home? Oh my god. I don't know what Cersei's gonna do here. Like,
Panic.
I have an
She-
inkling.
She held her tongue. She had so much composure in front of Marjorie, which makes me think she's gonna do something crazy behind closed doors. Like she's
Oh,
just
yeah.
gonna rip into Marjorie. I don't know what she's gonna do. I'm a little afraid, like she's a ticking time bomb right now.
I'm throwing poison out there. Yeah. I know we
Oh,
have
that's too bland.
But poison's a
Cersei's
woman's
got
weapon.
a lot of pent up rage. I think she needs to start stabbing people.
because she's also got the hand of, the head apothecary and everything else.
Yeah, it's
Let's. Yeah, well, she's
true. Hey,
got.
you want a really pretty body to experiment on?
She's got two maesters. The Grand Maester, Pycelle, the old blithering idiot.
Oh, she
And-
hates him, though.
Yeah, she hates him, but still, he's loyal to the Lannisters.
When is he gonna drop dead? Like, I feel like there's no more steam left in him. He has to drop dead.
Maester Aemon is 102 years old. That's the blind guy at the wall, okay? He hasn't dropped dead yet. I
But
think
he didn't. He was too sick to come to the meeting, though.
He's 102. What do you want?
I'm sad. I don't want him to die because I like him. But Pycelle, I want to drop dead.
Hopefully soon, I don't know. But he's feigns. Remember, he still fakes being older than he actually is.
He feigns his age. Yeah.
How
Right.
old is he?
Well, I have no
I
idea.
mean, he's
how
old,
he is.
but he feigns his decrepitness.
He's in
Remember,
much-
he was like banging 20-year-olds.
Right, he was banging
It's
all the
nothing.
whores, and he was limber and stretching and bouncing around and all that fun stuff.
All right.
Yeah. So he fakes his age.
Yep.
Back in my day.
Back in my day. So, let's see. Where was I going with this? Alright. To Qyburn. Anyway. The other Maester guy. What's with the Frankenstein body under the sheet?
It's
That's the mountain.
no. I even said, I'm like, if that thing moves, I'm fucking leaving.
It's the mountain.
moved.
The mountain's
I don't
not
like it.
dead.
The mountain's Frankenstein's
No, he's
monster.
not dead.
Oh,
It's
that's so
awesome.
scary. And after this whole explanation by Oberon that he uses manticore venom, and that it's going to kill him in a horrible fashion, and now we got
Yeah.
Captain... I'm just going to call him Captain Necromancer here, because I swear to God he's a necromancer.
He basically is
He
an
was only
necromancer.
mostly dead.
I mean,
Mostly.
there's no, like, magic. But, it's definitely the mountain. We're going to go with that.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It has to be.
Oh.
I mean, there's no.
He was
there's,
operating on him at the end of the last season, so,
Mhm.
I mean,
there's
that's
no
his subject.
like acknowledged magic. But clearly there are some things that happen that are, okay, that's magic.
There's no clearly acknowledged magic. Did we forget about the child of the forest throwing a fucking magic missile at zombies?
No, I meant in the general public of Westeros.
In
There's
the general
no
public's eyes,
serious magic. But magic clearly exists.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk about
Yes, magic missile child. I don't forget magic missile child.
That was fun.
That's fucking rad.
Let's talk about the Sparrows, making the High Septon walk naked down the street, and every time he tried to cover his junk up...
I just remembered where I saw the High Sparrow. I know that actor. He's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, he's in Pirates of the
that's
Caribbean.
right.
He's the bad guy in Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh my god, he is.
That's who he is. That's where I know him from. The newspaper guy, right?
Yes.
No, I knew him from Pirates.
Oh my god.
He's also
Go into
Governor
that
Swan
face.
from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Anyway,
Sorry, brain made a click.
brain made a click. So, they seem fanatical a little bit, but then they introduce us to the High Sparrow, and he seems kind of nice.
He's like the realest person.
He's like, you know, the Catholic priest, acting like a Catholic priest is supposed to.
No, he's the Franciscan, right? The Franciscan
Friars,
monks.
monks. Right.
Yeah.
Friars, yeah.
Worldly possessions mean shit to this guy. He is all about charity and all about, you know,
Right.
pious devotion and adherence to, I don't know, the doctrine of the seven.
Well,
He gave his shoes to someone who needed them more. You know,
let's
he's
think
got
about-
nothing but rags on him.
With
Go.
most religions, there's always the radicals of the group that cause some kind of uproar, and 9 times out of 10, the person behind it running the organization is not crazy.
And he doesn't seem to be crazy, but, I mean, I was describing these people to someone who, you know, earlier as, you know, the radical sect of this religion. You know, they're...
I mean, they are.
They kind of are.
They
They
are.
kind of really are.
I mean, you
So-
sinned, so we're going to make you walk down the street naked and whip you every time you try to cover your junk. That's...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious where he's going to go, because this... First impressions, I like the guy.
Yeah.
I don't trust him.
Yeah. There's something else there. I mean, he is the head of a radical sect, but he doesn't seem very radical. There's something else hidden below there.
Something's going
Well-
on, but I feel like Cersei's going to put him in power like really quick,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
or at least try to.
He does not want to be called the High Sparrow.
No, and
No,
A
no, he
name
doesn't.
that they gave him, that he didn't want.
very true. So,
So I feel like this radical sect was built around him, sort of.
possibly.
He came to the people who needed help, told them a thing that is true, and they took it the wrong direction.
They took a good idea and twisted it. We'll see where that goes. Maybe
Like
he's...
all organized religions. I'm sorry if I offended anyone who's part of an organized religion.
Unfortunately, you're right, but there's got to be something else there. This was the Queen Mother. He was probably being on his best behavior for her.
Right. I feel like there's something
Oh,
going,
there's
because he knew all about it. He knew exactly what happened. He did not say he was sorry.
Yeah, that's true. 'Cause
Yeah.
he probably wasn't sorry.
He wasn't sorry. I don't know. He's got some weirdness going on.
The guy's the High Septon. He's like, if he's not the Pope, then he is a cardinal right under the Pope. Okay, this would
Right.
be as if they caught the Pope in a whorehouse.
Which would be hilarious, by the way.
And it would be hilarious.
But
Now,
that's beside the point.
current Pope's a girl. Anyway,
The current pope is an adorable. Man.
I love the man. Moving on.
He got a pizza from some guy on the street. Someone gave him a pizza.
Okay.
I take a pizza. Street
take a
pizza's
pizza.
the best pizza.
So Brienne and Podrick.
Yeah.
As they get to Moat Cailin, we're gonna have to go around, and I know exactly where they're going. Like, Brienne's not an idiot.
No.
Yeah.
The only reason
He knows
Littlefinger...
what's north.
Yes, she knows the only thing that's north, and her
The
name
only thing
is...
north is Winterfell.
The only thing north of import is Winterfell.
Right. But she agrees to train Podrick in the ways of the sword. Actually apologizes for being kind of bitchy to him.
Well, I mean, she knows it, but she can't help it. She's never had a squire before. Everything like this that she's done on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And also, she's just frustrated, because nothing's working out for her, so she's taking it out on Pod.
Right.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
She swore her...
Littlefinger's being a dick.
Right. Look at this. She is the combatant version of Sansa. Think about this. She serves a king who she loves among all, beyond all else, who is murdered by a freaking specter in front of her. Then she swears her sword to Lady Catelyn, who dies.
Then murdered.
Who's also
murdered. And now she has sworn to find and protect both of Lady Catelyn's daughters, which she has one failed because Arya ran off, and
also fight to the death.
Fight to the death with the Hound was distracting, and two failed because Sansa stuck with Littlefinger. And actually, there was a fun from last week's scene when they met up in the tavern, whatever. There was Gwendolyn Christie, who plays Brienne, was doing an interview, and she stated that in the scene, in the script written, Sansa was supposed to give Brienne this kind of look, like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, for
like,
your own safety, run.
For your own safety, run. So,
yeah.
The theory
Did that
is
get
that...
cut? Oh, well, she kind of gave the eyes, like...
Right.
I think.
So there's a theory that Sansa kind of has a plan right now. Like...
Well, that's kind of the impression I got from the end of last season when she comes down with the new clothes and the new voice. Like, she has a completely new way of speaking.
Sansa's
new hair.
Yeah. So she's definitely trying to take her life into her own hands.
I think she's gonna kill Ramsay.
Oh no, I think she's gonna try to kill Roose. Ramsay.
Yeah, I'm not sure she would go for... I'm afraid for her going for Ramsay because...
He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's 10
and
times
trying
crazy.
To kill Ramsay, I feel like would be his cue to go ham. Like, to just be like, oh, I guess we're playing it this way. Let's have some fun.
I guess I'm wearing you as a coat later. I know, I'm sorry, that was horrible, but he would.
Skin jacket.
Because as far as Sansa knows, she hasn't heard of Ramsay Bolton. She doesn't really know his exploits.
No, she only knows that it's the family that killed hers.
Right, it's the family that killed hers. Her father directly killed her, eldest brother. So, yeah, we're gonna go from there. I have no idea.
Goblin Graph in chat says that Reek will help her. I definitely think that, even though Theon's hiding, I think if he crosses paths, he's going to tell her to run.
Tell her to get the hell out of Dodge.
Get the fuck away.
Look at me. Look at all the parts I'm missing, and there's one you can't
What
see.
he did to me.
Look what he did to me. He cut my dick off.
That did happen.
That did happen.
That did happen.
And mailed it to my sister.
And then he waved the sausage around.
Yes, he did. Terrible man.
Man.
Awful man.
So, Sansa's flying by the seat of her pants right now. Anyway, the last person to mention this episode is Tyrion. Now, I will tell you this. I like how they arrive in Volantis, and I love Tyrion just with the freaking hatch on the window. I'm like, oh, good. He's bored, and he's going to drive Varys mad.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely loved that. So, anyway.
That was so funny.
This is one of the most
So
accurate depictions from the book that I've liked so far to scenery, because they describe that bridge going into Volantis. It's supposed to be a famous bridge with all these structures and, hobbled together wooden buildings built up so tight that you can barely walk between them. And that was exactly what it was. And I have to applaud the props and graphics and all that other department for making that happen. So, without going too crazy detail here, because we are coming up on time, Tyrion witnesses a very lovely red priestess praising the Lord of Light and talking about their Lord and Savior, the Mother of Dragons. I'm guessing... Which is interesting. I'm guessing Melisandre has been out of the loop for a while.
Maybe.
Because, according to her, their Lord and Savior is Stannis Baratheon.
Right.
Or maybe in their attempts to unite, like, different regions, they're picking different relevant people.
It's possible. I mean, according to Thoros of Myr, Lord Beric Dondarrion is their Lord and Savior.
Yeah, so maybe it's just regional. Like, this person has the most likelihood of getting us the most followers.
I mean, let's see. According to random unnamed priestess, okay, this lady's got 3 dragons. First one to birth dragons in probably 150 years. According to Thoros, this guy has come back to life how many times, and he could set his sword on fire. Like, legit on fire. Now, something they left out of the books, but it was such an easy detail, and I've been bitching about this since Season 2 when they introduced Stannis. His sword, when he unsheaths it, is supposed to light the room up.
Stannis' sword?
Yes, because of an enchantment Melisandre put on
it.
And they did the whole scene with him burning the false idols and him jabbing the sword into it and everything, but they left that detail out.
Come with me on a journey of complaining about swords not glowing. And in The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, Glamdring and Orcris don't glow. While Sting glows, when all 3 should actually be glowing.
I know. Anyway, going on to...
But this is the thing, flashlight swords cost money.
Right, they do.
So...
In the books, though, this is her whole claim to Stannis being the savior. He has Lightbringer, the fiery sword of the Lord of Light. Like, that's their whole claim to fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just
so maybe now Dany will have friends?
I don't know.
I don't know. She kind of needs him right now.
She definitely overheard Tyrion and gave him the stink eye. Do you think she recognized him? Because these people are supposed to be able to see the future in the fire.
Yes, and if she is, if she's a red priestess like Melisandre is, she's got some magics. She probably definitely knows who he is. Also, I love that actress. She's the ninja lady in the Wolverine movie, and she's in Arrow right now playing Tetsu.
I love it. So the other fun thing that happened to Tyrion is he has a moment where he can't go all the way with a whore.
Oh no, I'm like, you precious
muffin. And as he says, no one's more surprised than me. And then he goes out to take a piss off the balcony, and Lord Friendzone kidnaps him.
I did say last episode, I'm like, maybe Jorah should show back up again.
Maybe Jorah should
not
like this. And here's the best part: I'm taking you to the Queen, like to Daenerys, and my thought from Tyrion's point of view is, well, good, I was going there anyway.
No,
I think Tyrion probably thought Cersei.
That's what
Tyrion's probably thinking Cersei.
Because he just has no idea.
He didn't see Dany. He didn't say anything.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about
it. We thought Dany, because we know who he's going to, but Tyrion's like, don't take me to my sister, please.
Oh my god, yeah, I didn't even think about that. He just said the Queen.
Because
for Jorah's mind, the Queen is Daenerys.
Yes.
Because he's been out at the same point that he doesn't know that Cersei's not really the Queen right now.
That too.
So in turn, little Tyrion might think, oh shit.
Right.
I'm back home and I'm going to have my head lopped off.
Yeah.
And this
Tyrion's also drunk out of his mind.
And he probably has no idea who grabbed him in the first place. Tyrion doesn't know who Jorah Mormont is. He probably knows the name.
But doesn't know who he is.
The eldest son of Lord, Jorah Mormont, who, the old bear, who was exiled for slave trading.
I mean, it was also interesting that, like, Jorah was being so tortured by seeing them call that prostitute the Queen of Dragons, and that was I wonder if that was like eating away at him. He was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something stupid,
right?
And then just decided, this seems fun.
So
he's probably also drunk out of his mind.
So we're gonna I'm gonna stay on the bandwagon here of him taking Tyrion to Daenerys. What does he think? Like, this is gonna, What's his
Win
play?
her back.
Senpai,
Like,
love
look, I have a
me.
Lannister.
Senpai, notice me. I have a Lannister.
Well, it
Senpai,
might
you
notice me.
see, the other part is he might think it's a bargaining chip. Like, oh, they might care to have one of their own back, but quite frankly, he doesn't know that there's a bounty on his head.
Well,
True.
I mean, me and John were talking recently about, does he still have the pardon?
I don't know.
Does he still have the pardon?
Because it was from Tywin.
No, the pardon was from Robert
Or Robert.
before
Well,
he
yeah.
died.
Baratheon.
I mean,
Is it still good?
yeah.
Even?
I would imagine.
Oh.
Why would it be? I
I
mean,
don't
but
know.
I don't get what he's going to do with Tyrion. Like, bring in
He's a
Susan
man
Harris
with
and then
nothing to
cut.
lose. He's a loose cannon.
I mean,
He's like, look, I brought you a dwarf.
if he brought
He's a
Tyrion,
Lannister.
if he brought Tyrion with that pardon back to Cersei, you're damn sure it'll be valid.
Yeah.
Because it was stated she offered a lordship to whoever brings his
Yeah.
head in.
He even needs the pardon. If he just brings him back, she'd
Forget
probably
it.
just, fuck it, here you go, man.
Here you go, man. Exactly.
Take it, whatever you want.
So, that's about our episode. We're short on time. Next week, we're introduced to the Sand Snakes. I noticed that from the preview. We see
Love it.
Bronn. We see Bronn looking scared as shit as someone charges him.
He should be.
He should be if it's one of those ladies.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of people in Sons of the Harpy masks attacking Unsullied.
Yeah.
That's what we got from the preview. Lots of fun shit going down.
There's gonna be civil war in the streets, is what's gonna happen.
And the name of the episode is The Sons of the Harpy.
I mean,
Not
so we're gonna
go
get a
well.
lot of Danny to make up for what wasn't in this episode.
Very true. But you know what? They have so many characters, they can't just keep flip-flopping 20 times an episode.
Yeah, exactly. You need the time, chunks of time to devote to certain characters that
And
need it.
let us miss them a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
let us wonder
The
what's
better
going
thing
on
to
with
do.
them.
I mean, and that's how this show's flowed since.
That's how the
Yeah.
books have flowed, too. I mean, the books are
Yeah.
point-of-view chapters, and sometimes you'll go a very large chunk before you get the point of view of the same character again.
Mhm.
I mean, you'll go
Yeah.
hundreds of pages before you hear from Daenerys again. Anyway, that's our show, everybody, and I done goofed at the end here.
What did
um,
you do?
Da-da-da-da-da-da. There.
Before we sign off, we had a comment on the video last week by Winter Winters.
Okay, go for it.
It says Danny's Dragon Drogon had the attitude like, "Here's my Skype address. Bye, bitch. Skype me."
He really did, didn't he?
He's like, "Bye, bitch."
But that leads me to think, like, is Drogon going to show up and be like, hey, I'm going to be a riot breaker now?
Yeah.
And just, like,
Oh,
ruin
hey, mom,
the fucking
I see
Civil
you
War?
have a problem with your peons.
Nothing's a
I
better...
like to eat. I like to burn and eat problems,
Hey.
as a matter of fact.
They're masked assassins or whatever. They're going to be armed with nothing bigger than a dagger, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
then
don't-
this is going to be like,
A dagger versus a dragon. I don't think it's going to work very well.
Your dragon is right there. Mine's out of reach.
Anyway, that's our show.
yeah.
Let's do the proper exit here. Pat, where can they find you?
They can find me at this tag on Twitter, Pichelle, or in time and space.
He went
Oh,
there.
it's less cool without Michelle.
It worked that well with one of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of
You can
you.
find Pat and his
need your
absent
clone.
wife at that location.
You need your clone.
John?
Hi, you can find me on Twitter here at No More, and on YouTube doing Let's Plays at Nahojm, Nhojm.
There you go. Cleo.
You can find me on the socials at Cleomoto and on Twitch at the Cleomoto. I swear I'll stream this week. Last week was busy.
Indeed. You can find me on Twitter at Thilladrin, and you can also find all of us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, Gmail, and MySpace at ASOTV Podcast, all one word. Follow us at all of those places for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. And thank you for watching, everybody. If you're watching live,
Toodles.
Once Upon a Time is
Bye-bye,
coming up
baby.
next.
So cute.